Welcome to this explainer. Today we're doing something a little bit different. Instead of just letting the music wash over us, we're going to totally deconstruct a soul-touching kirtan to look at the hidden architecture inside the emotion. We're taking the lyrics of a deeply passionate kirtan performance and analyzing it through the lens of pure structure, just to figure out exactly how it works.
So let's start by looking at the bold, emotional promise made right in the title of this chant. You will cry. Feel Krishna in your heart. I mean, wow, right? That is an incredibly high bar to set for any piece of music. It's essentially guaranteeing a profound, visceral reaction from the listener. It's not just promising that you'll be entertained, it is literally promising a physical and emotional breakthrough, a true catharsis.
Section 1, the soul-touching kirtan promise. Now, usually, if you want to make someone cry or truly touch their soul, you need, epic storytelling, tragic loss, or complex narratives that take hours to build up our empathy. But when we look at the raw lyrics of this kirtan, there's absolutely no complex narrative arc. What's genuinely fascinating here is that this entire deeply emotional journey is built upon a foundation of exactly 3 unique words. Just 3. Think about the sheer volume of words we consume every single day, thousands upon thousands of words in emails and articles, most of which leave zero emotional impact on us whatsoever. Yet this chant claims to move people to tears using a vocabulary smaller than a toddler's. It's an absolute masterclass in extreme minimalism.
Section 2, only 3 core words. By intentionally limiting the vocabulary to just these 3 words, Hare, Krishna, Rama, the chant accomplishes something brilliant. It stops the analytical part of your brain from trying to process new information. When you aren't busy trying to decipher complex grammar or follow a twisting plotline, your mind is finally allowed to rest. And in that rest, a totally different kind of awareness opens up. These are the only 3 core components found in the entire performance. Structurally speaking, they're pure sonic building blocks. They're short, highly rhythmic, and they contain alternating vowel sounds that are incredibly pleasing and natural for the human voice to produce over and over again without any fatigue.
Section 3, the 16-word cycle. So these 3 distinct words aren't just thrown together randomly. They are engineered into a remarkably precise mathematical loop. They're woven into a very specific 16-word sequence known widely as the Mahamantra. This 16-word cycle is the engine of the entire experience. Just look at the balance here. Exactly half of the mantra, 8 words, is Hare. It acts as an 8-beat anchor for the entire chant. It serves as the rhythmic pulse, the grounding force that you continuously return to. Then you have Krishna appearing 4 times and Rama appearing 4 times. It creates the symmetrical, perfectly balanced sonic geometry. You push out into the specific names, and you constantly pull back into the anchor. Breath out, breath in. It's basically an algorithm designed perfectly for human memory.
Now, comparing the theory to the reality is super interesting. We've got the mathematically perfect loop on one side, but then look at the reality of a live performance. Notice that little break? Krish, na. That right there, that is where the magic happens. That's a singer taking a sudden, deep breath. That's the energy of the room swelling up. It's the raw emotion momentarily overwhelming the rigid structure. It shows us that while the math is perfect, the delivery is passionately, beautifully human.
Section 4, the power of continuous repetition. Because this is actually performed by human beings, right? With rising and falling volume, changing tempos, breathless pauses, the repetition transforms. It stops being a mere circle and starts becoming an upward spiral. Every single loop builds on the energy of the last one. Looking at the sheer volume and weight of this repetitive text, it almost looks like a solid wall. And this visual perfectly mirrors the auditory experience. You are completely immersed in a sea of sound. You aren't just hearing the words anymore, you're feeling the vibrational weight of them accumulating in the room. See, the relentless repetition isn't meant to impart new facts to you. It's there to wash over you and induce a deeply hypnotic, meditative state. Think about what happens to your brain when you read a normal paragraph. It's constantly decoding, analyzing, storing data. But when your brain encounters this, it quickly realizes, okay, I know exactly what's coming next. The guard drops, the neurological gates fly open, the conscious mind just steps aside, allowing the subconscious and the emotional centers of the brain to take the driver's seat. This continuous, unbroken cycle requires a kind of surrender from us as listeners. You literally can't outthink it. You just have to let it carry you. It acts as a sonic focal point, much like how staring at a single candle flame can completely quiet the mind. The repetitive sound clears away all that mental clutter of daily life, leaving absolutely nothing but the rhythm behind.
Section 5, feeling Krishna in the heart. So, how exactly does an algorithm of 3 words played on a 16-beat loop create an organic, soul-touching experience? Well, mapping it out makes it clear. The anatomy, those 3 core words, keeps the mind uncluttered, and the 16-word loop provides a predictable, safe, rhythmic home. The relentless repetition breaks down our everyday mental barriers. And then we see the inevitable result. Deep focus is achieved, a hypnotic rhythm takes hold, and without the interference of our busy, anxious thoughts, raw emotion, those soul-touching tears, is finally allowed to rise to the surface. The structure is literally the key that unlocks the emotion.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. Now that you know the simple mechanics of the 16-word loop, will you let its continuous rhythm touch your own heart? We know the math now. We know the 3 core words. But understanding the sheet music is entirely different from actually hearing the symphony. The next time you encounter a repetitive, meditative practice, you'll know exactly the brilliant structural engineering working behind the scenes to give you that profound experience. Keep exploring the fascinating structures behind the things that move us.